What's going on YouTube? Chronos here and welcome back to the PSO2 video. So in today's video, I do want to go ahead and talk about the recent emergency maintenance that we had as some new information has been brought to light that I'm actually really excited to bring you guys. Before we jump into that though, like I mentioned beforehand, I'm Chrono. I do content over here on YouTube daily. If you're new, would much appreciate to subscribe as we claw our way up. I was gonna say count our way, but claw our way up that 10K mark by the end of the year. But enough shilling, let's jump into this. So today's video is gonna be really short. It's just a quick little update, a little bit of some information that popped up after the emergency maintenance. Now, this isn't specifically because of the emergency maintenance. It seems like there's been some answers to some questions that we've had, which I did mention during my original video, even though a lot of people got upset at that video. I did mention during my original video, based on how this process works, because we don't know, this is how we should handle the situation itself. I'm going to talk more about how I'm going to be handling videos like that in the future, but that's not what this video is about. Today's video, we're actually talking about the emergency maintenance. So they did go ahead and update the game. Sincerely apologize for any inconveniences caused by emergency maintenance. Also, had to compensate all players for the emergency maintenance itself, so on and so forth. But they updated the article, just let everyone know that as far as compensation, this is actually really cool to see they're doing consistently now, because they really didn't have to, and they didn't before this. But basically, during any emergency maintenances or maintenances, from what I've been able to tell, they've been extending the time for anything that is time gated specifically. So like premium sets, extended storages, what else is the other, what's the other one? Material storage, I believe. Let's see, extended storage and material storage, personal shop usage, all that stuff. Personal quarters, all those things are being extended by the amount of time the emergency maintenance was going on. So emergency maintenance, I believe, actually, I think the emergency maintenance was 6 hours, not 4. So not exactly the same amount of time the emergency maintenance was going on, but giving some extra time, that way you don't lose out on all of the time that you would have had access to. I mean, to be honest, most of the maintenances are going on when people aren't playing that often anyway, but I mean, at least from the US perspective, it's the low end there. So everyone's different. So I'm not even going to try to take that sort of mindset. Let's backstep on that one a little bit. No, just people play at different times. Don't worry about it. But no, they're giving 4 hours back for the 6-hour emergency maintenance, which is dope to see. They fixed a bug that shortened the expected duration of the specific weather conditions for required Gigantix to appear. Basically, there's a specific weather that has to happen for Gigantix to show up, and when that weather stops, they disappear. So it made it really, really hard to take down Gigantix. You had to be really, really quick, or you had to be really lucky. Sometimes you'd have storms that would last, 5 minutes. Sometimes you'd have storms that would last 2 minutes. Sometimes you'd have storms that would last like 30 seconds. And that was 100% a bug. It was not intended, and they did adjust that. Now, I've heard just through the grapevine of people, I haven't actually done it myself just yet after the maintenance, but storms are lasting a decent amount of time. People are getting kills a bit more consistently, and you can actually see weapons and units and things like that flying up onto the market. So it's obvious that players are actually getting through these more often. It seems like our prayers were answered, and this is seeming more often pluggable. Now, this next thing that was mentioned is actually even more amazing. They went through and answered some questions. So a Reddit post, where's the Redditor's name, by Lunar Waste, over on the Fantasy Star Online 2 Reddit. Not a place I hang out too often. I've seen a few things pop up there recently, but not gonna really worry about too much of that. But they mentioned Gigantix HP is determined by the amount of players in proximity to the boss. The amount of players in the room has no effect. This is awesome. And we're thinking, well, says who? Says the FAQ actually answering it. This is the Japanese FAQ. It fluctuates in real time depending upon the number of players around the Gigantix. The total number of players in this section does not change. That is a game changer. And in case you're curious, it also says it on the US website, or the global website as well. It's a huge game changer. It's absolutely amazing to know that this actually happens. That means it doesn't matter if there are other players around. That means we're not bothering anyone else, and they're not bothering us specifically. Now, granted, if you are low level, not level 20, if you run up on a Gigantix, try to attack it, we appreciate you trying to help, but it actually is only making it more difficult, unfortunately. So that is still worth warranting. If you're not at least level 20, you can't do any damage to the thing, which is kind of rough. But the storms are up much longer, so I mean, you might not really be hurting too terribly much, but like one level 20 juicer is not going to be able to carry like 7 non-level 20 players in an 8-man scaled version of Gigantix. Unfortunately, that just probably will not happen. But it's good to know that we're not going to be bothering anyone else that's just in the area doing their own thing, which is fantastic to find out. Now, players or alliances may still opt to try to put together 32-man runs because they want to be able to run with their their groups. If that's why you create an alliance for in the first place, so you can run with certain individuals and have a good time, play with your friends, so on and so forth. But it's good to know that it's not going to be required. and it's not going to cause situations consistently where players are showing up in lobbies other players are already in and asking them to leave, because that is definitely not what we want. Definitely not what I advocated for in the slightest, by the way. But that is definitely not what we want at all. But again, glad to see that this has actually been officially reported and officially sold, because we had in the mindset that this might have been the case. It would be cool if this is how it worked out, but there was no concrete evidence. Now there's concrete evidence. They're actually answering in the FAQ. So super cool to find out. That's all I really want to report on. I wanted to make sure this got out because this is fantastic news, and it's very, very important that people know about this. That way we can reduce the animosity between players, of players just trying to have a good time and do your thing. So if you're in a gathering area and you see some people fighting Gigantix, and you're not high enough level to fight the Gigantix, dude, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't bother. Don't pay attention to them. Let them do their thing. Maybe catch a cool screenshot and send it to them later. They might enjoy that sort of thing. Who knows? You know, whatever. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. As always, a like on the video is appreciated. Absolves you of half your ad block. The other half is absolved by subscribing. Both are completely free and they do help me out a ton. If you want to keep up with content like this, make sure to click on the bell icon to be notified of videos when they pop up, as well as community posts, or join us over on Discord or follow me over on Twitter for notifications via those two avenues. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end. Don't forget to comment if you're part of the End Gang. If you have any questions, feel free to toss them in the comments below as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace out.